You're listening to KTX Life, a podcast about health, wellness, and mindset, hosted by Nate Fancher and Kyle Flowers. This is episode 5.
What's up, guys? I'm Nate Fancher with KTX Life, joined by the founder and owner and extraordinaire expert of KTX Nutrition and KTX Fit. I'm sorry I keep slapping you on the back. I feel like that's probably annoying. I would hate that if I were you.
You just make me nervous when you say extraordinaire expert and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, you run a gym. You started a supplement company. You've you do nutrition consults, though. You're not I explain that. I forget how that works.
Yeah, I'm not a dietitian.
Dietitian.
Or a doctor.
So why would I trust you? That was a question in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I trust you?
I mean, I do have some references now.
Yeah. Okay. Can you please email them to me? But anyway, yeah, dietitians and doctors are taught a whole host of different things. Dietitians maybe are better informed than doctors. Doctors are good guys, but they are teaching us or helping us with medicines and modern medicine specifically.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're going to talk about in this episode.
Oh,
man.
Cool. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about sleep.
Oh, I like sleep.
Because I love to sleep.
I love sleep.
My problem is that I have 3 kids who interrupt my sleep. This is the sleep episode.
So then you should be focusing on your kids' sleep.
And maybe you can actually help me with this. I would actually really like to talk about that.
If that's the root cause.
They're sleeping better now that they're getting older, but they were terrible sleepers as little kids.
Yeah, that's why.
Like little kids. I mean, they're still little, but like, yeah.
Get a soundproof room.
How old's your daughter?
Lock the door. 4.
Just get a soundproof room and lock the door.
Mm-hmm.
And just let them cry. Are you a cried out dad? Are you a cried out guy?
I could say that all I want, but man, it hurts when they start crying. It's like
my wife.
I just want to help.
My wife and I don't really fight much, but whenever we have fought really bad, it was over that whole subject.
It's tough.
Yeah, we've gotten through it. We're good, but anyway, sleep. Why? I'll bring this up. So the blood panel thing.
Yeah.
There's a guy you work with.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
On the blood panels?
On the blood panels, yeah.
Impact Health Labs?
Impact Health Labs, yeah. Do they have a website?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Let's look it up. Impact Health Labs. Based out of here in Houston. I guess they're all over, huh? Mainly Houston.
They're out of Austin.
They're doing blood panels.
But they go everywhere.
And it's interesting. I know we have a mutual friend who did one, and a lot of things came up on it, but then at the end, basically sleep came up, and he was like, oh, that's where you got to start. Mm-hmm. We can't do anything else. We can't talk about anything else. Diet, food, water, nothing, exercise, nothing else until we fix sleep. Is that true?
I mean, that's where, they dissect the whole lifestyle, and if that's priority number 1, then we're going to make sure that priority number 1 is, it depends on the person. But yeah if they're getting 3 hours of sleep a night or 4 hours of sleep, then that's usually I'll tell that I've probably lost clients from, if they're a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. workout person, and they're like, why am I not seeing results? I'm like, well, what time do you go to bed? It's like midnight, and then they're waking up at 4:30 to come work out, and they're doing high intensity training. I'm like, this is probably not the smartest option for your lifestyle right now. Like, hey, you're better off getting that extra 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is huge, and a lot of people don't even realize how much true sleep they're getting. So it's like, I think everyone should not live with one, but at least get a sleep tracking device of some sort, or get a group of friends, like a couple different friends, to invest in one together, and you use it for 6 weeks and trade off, or use it for at least 2 or 3 weeks. See what your heart rate variability is, your sleep patterns, make sure how many sleep cycles you're hitting, and how much actual sleep you're getting.
Apple has a little thing, but it's a smartphone next to my bed.
Yeah, that's the other
probably
thing.
Not a good idea.
The Quora Ring's probably right now the healthiest as far as like Bluetooth.
What's it called?
The Quora Ring.
How do you use what?
Quora or Aura? Quora Ring. It's a nighttime sleep tracking device that you wear as a ring. The Whoop is good too.
I'm not spelling it right.
But yeah, I mean,
Cora.
if it requires you to have your cell phone on next to your bed, but that's another good.
This is not even right.
It's like people that don't believe that cell phones and Wi-Fi routers and stuff, blue lights have an effect on sleep. Like if you wear a sleep tracking device and then sleep with your phone next to your bed, and then track your sleep for a few days, and then turn it off and keep it away from your bed, or turn off the house router and track your sleep patterns that way, you'll notice that it improves. And I mean, even if it's mental, whatever,
8 best
somehow your
sleep
sleep
trackers.
improves.
Well, what'd you call it? Aura Ring?
I think it's Quara, Quora.
Cora Ring.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we can look that up. But but taking one step back from that, like sleep, people know that sleep's important, but like you can't go like 2 or 3 days without sleep.
No.
Right, you'll die.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many days, but
I heard
start
something like that.
hallucinating, and then
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll just pass out before you die, right? And get some sleep.
that's true.
I don't know.
Thankfully, there are some built-in body securities right there. Okay, but in sleep, there are certain things happening. And Sean Stephenson, big fan of his podcast. Shout out to him over at the Model Health Show. I turned you onto that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Good.
He wrote the book Sleep Smarter, and really good resource for people who want to learn more about the things that are happening in sleep and how it's essential for even things like weight loss and just getting that, I guess, hormone control, right? I mean, that's what.
Yeah, circadian rhythm runs off, the biological clock. When the sun goes down, it's time to wind down, get ready for sleep.
So what are things that are happening during sleep?
Yeah, your hormones, your sympathetic nervous system is restoring. The nervous system is restoring in general. You're processing, and that's really when you're learning. You're processing what you learned. You're detoxing. There's different phases of the night where your body is actually cleansing. Yeah. So you're not just stopping. You're recovering, and it's essential. It is. I haven't read that book from Sean Stephenson, but Matthew Walker is a doctor as well. He's on several different podcasts and has just lots of information. A lot of people regard him as like the sleep expert right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's written some stuff on insomnia.
So he's a good guy to follow for sleep as well.
Like what is insomnia? What causes that?
Insomnia?
I know what it is, but what causes it? Do you think it's things that can be fixed in terms of like it's the circadian rhythm, it's the things you do before you go to bed?
Oh,
just certain levels of cortisol and hormones are just out of whack, and that's the result. Or that's the reason for insomnia.
Yeah, I mean that sleep would be just like any other, like say you compare it to weight loss. It's like, I'm exercising and I think I'm eating healthy, but why am I not losing weight? Well, it could be hormones, could be sleep on top of that, could be several other lifestyle factors. Sleep's no different. It could be food might be the main reason. Lifestyle, just not being able to relax. So someone might need more meditation and breathing in their life. That might help. Just their circadian rhythm might be off. People drink caffeine all day and all night, and then wonder why they can't sleep. They don't even think like, oh yeah, I was drinking coffee like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And they're like, well, I can drink a Monster and then go to sleep. Well, that's great, but you're not probably getting any deep sleep.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with drinking a bunch of alcohol as well.
Oh yeah, that'll knock you out. So people will take sleeping pills.
Yeah.
That'll knock them out, just like drinking a bunch of alcohol. But then you track the sleep, and they're not hitting all the different sleep cycles. So then the next day they're still groggy and tired because they never really got sleep. So then they're having to highly stimulate themselves to stay awake. And then it's just a never-ending cycle. They're just hurting themselves.
Yeah, sleep is important. I mean, but here's where I really need some help from you. How do I help my kids sleep? We talked about that just for a second. I really want to know, like, are there things that kids eat or drink or do or whatever? I mean, my kids aren't drinking coffee yet.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, they're not watching like late night TV either, so the cortisol stuff. But like, my kids, they go to sleep now fine because we work them really hard at like the park and make them run around and all that. But,
That's what I was gonna suggest first. When Lennon's active, like full day active, she'll just go to sleep. And if I don't wear her out, then it's a little bit harder to get her to wind down.
But when they're younger, like you've got like the colic issues and the sort of cry, the babies who cry, and they want to be held. There's all that. We're not going to try to get into
I've gotten into, so I have 3 sisters and 10 nieces and nephews. And so I learned not to give advice on mothering and stuff like that.
Right.
But the science is very, very, very clear on, gut health and absorption of nutrients and lifestyle factors and how those affect your children's sleep and how they behave. And so that's...
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I thought of like dye. Like what? In dye, like in icing for like birthday parties.
Oh, man, that's...
So
that's crazy.
No, we'll go to birthday parties, and so we know it's there. And so we're not going to be like, don't eat the cake, right? But like... that we see a real difference in behavior from just consuming dye. And so I'm assuming with certain lifestyle choices where that's just all in, because it's all in the food everywhere. Yeah. Doritos. And
almost every child's food, like processed, has some kind of dyes or some type of estrogen.
So that can affect sleep. Yeah.
It affects their body as a whole. A huge one is, blood sugar levels and insulin. So if they're having a snack every couple, it's like people think you gotta just feed your kid like all these snacks, you just gotta snack, and so say every 2 hours their body's programmed that they need
goldfish, man,
some type of snack, and then they go to sleep and they should have 8 or 10 or 12 hours of a fasted period, but their body doesn't know how to handle those fluctuations in insulin and blood sugar. They're not going to sleep throughout the night.
Are bedtime snacks bad?
What kind of bedtime snacks?
My kids are always like, I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. We're like, okay, banana and peanut butter. Here you go. That's what we do.
Yeah, so...
Is that a bad idea?
I wouldn't give a banana right before bed.
Because of the sugar? The carb load?
Because it's not just because of the sugar or the carb load. It's because of that insulin and blood sugar spike right before bed that... once it goes down, that could trigger when they wake up and they're craving food or an inconsistent sleep pattern. That's such a fine line to talk about because,
dude,
it's
beat me down on it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I do care.
There's the whole thing where you don't want to cause an eating disorder. You don't want to be over the top with it. And then, especially on birthday parties and stuff like that, like I'm all about Lennon. Like I would never tell her no to a cake or cupcake or something at a birthday party or anything, because that's a time to celebrate and it's not a time to feel awkward. And the last thing I want for her to develop an eating disorder of any
That's the thing about all this, like all these conversations we're having in all these podcast episodes. It's like there are so many levels to all of this, and it's so easy for people to suddenly feel guilt or shame or just get really angry and be like, or just, you okay? Okay. Everything sound okay? All right. Like things like, the other thing is like feeling like really judged or just, there's just so many like layers to all of this. I think it's interesting you're saying that, like going to a birthday party, kids are running around, you're trying to be making those better choices. And so you said it's a time of celebration. Speak to that some more, man.
That's the 80-20 rule. I don't remember what the guy that created the 80-20 rule, but it's like, 80% of your, or 20% of
your stuff produces 80% of your results.
Yeah, that whole, but it applies to so many areas of life, and it's like
Parkinson's law, maybe.
I guess it's a philosophy, just kind of like a healthy lifestyle philosophy that I preach to people, but I also preach that to my daughter as well. It's just I do tell her no, and I don't want her to think that it's like she has to have a fear of different foods. And she asks why. I'm like, well, I don't just say, no, it's bad for you. It's got chemicals. I'm like, this could happen from that if you do it too much. And then sometimes I'll give it to her, and she's like, she starts asking me questions now. How come you're letting me eat this? It's got chemicals. I'm like, well, it's a special occasion. I'm like, it's not going to kill you. Like, it's a special occasion. And
does she have like big old puppy dog eyes like, Daddy, how can you give me chemicals? And you all of a sudden feel like this like total
She calls me out. It's so funny. The first time she was like, Dad, you can't drink out of that plastic water bottle. It's got chemicals. I'm like, well, it's not the best choice, but it's water, and we need water. It's like, and I explained that to her, but it's funny.
Does she sleep great at night?
She sleeps great. Yeah.
That's good.
She sleeps even better, the more she does throughout the day.
We know of kids. We hear of parents who are saying their kids are just up all night. Some of them, like, they're up in the middle of the night. They just wake up and they like do stuff. They can hear them wake up and walk around their bedroom and start playing with toys, and like the lights on. They turn the lamp on, like, or they go back. Like there's just some real issues there. It sounds like, and I wonder if sometimes it's tied to like devices, iPads, iPhones, things like that. There's like a lot of that and there's the cortisol thing with that. Is that what that would be? Yeah. Cortisol is a stress hormone, right? And it keeps you awake and ready.
Yeah, you need it.
If that's too much after the sun goes down, your body needs to naturally start to pull that down, right? And then if it's not going down, that's bad.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening when we're watching Netflix late at night or on our laptops, unless we're using like some blue screen or whatever they're called, the little shields. Or Apple has the little thing on the phone now where you can go to
the shit. Mine, you can set mine shift, the night shift.
Oh, night shift.
Yeah, it sounded like I cussed.
Yeah, you're like shit.
You can, I got tongue twisted.
This is
you can set a schedule on that, so mine turns on.
Yeah, mine does it
automatically 7 to 7. Yeah.
You're 7 to 7. Yeah. I do the same thing. But again, these are things that just people don't really talk about, and that's the whole reason behind this show.
Yeah.
Just to try to spread the word. Well, all these things, they're all connected. Every part of our life is connected, whether we're raising kids or not. And with sleep, I brought up the sleep thing with the kids because they were keeping me from sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's where I get stressed, is I want to sleep. But then my kids, anyway, but it's starting to get better. It was more when they were younger and they're like crying a lot, waking up too often because they don't have mommy or daddy there. That's probably a little bit of a different thing than maybe their hormones being out of balance, right?
Probably.
There's the banana thing, I guess. So we got a few minutes left on this one, and only a few, because I think I started it with too many. But what would you say is like the number one thing to do, a little bit of a routine for people to start optimizing sleep?
If they have a router in their room, turn it off or get it out. I would get it out of the room ASAP. Yeah. Get the cable company to put it somewhere away.
There's stuff coming out of the router, like impacting our bodies.
Oh yeah, and now there's 5G's here.
5G.
Yep. So if you have your Wi-Fi, I turn my phone on airplane mode and put it across the room.
Even on airplane mode?
Airplane mode across the room.
I'm bad, and I have it right next to me.
If it's not getting the Wi-Fi from your router, then it's going to pull the signal from the air. So I put it on airplane across the room. Try to minimize blue light at least an hour before bed.
That's your 7 p.m.
Preferably more. Possibly go for a walk and kind of look at the moon.
So some calm activity. Look at the moon.
Yeah. So that's not a blue light.
Blue light comes from the sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is more of a theory, but I'm convinced, when you wake up and you just kind of graze into the sun, it's producing a hormonal response. You don't just stare at the sun, but get some natural sunlight. And
that's Marcus Aubrey's big deal. He's like, hey, wake up early, go get out some natural light, drink some water.
So when you're winding down, look at the moon, and we can't really see the stars here in the city, but that'd be cool. The moon and the stars will definitely have.
Looking at the moon thing, that's kind of a theory of yours, or is that something that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's studied or not, but I would just assume that when the moon comes out and you see it and it's dark around it, that's got to give some type of signal. We could do our own studies on it.
I want to look up nocturnal light.
Yeah. But
Nocturnal light benefits, is that even probably the right search term?
you could take an Epsom salt bath, or like certain people.
Melatonin production.
Melatonin production.
That's what. Okay, this is saying night light's going to disturb that.
Yeah, so that's what the blue light's going to disrupt big time. Even something as simple as like a night light or
Moonlight benefits. Feels like a funny search term. All right, I'm exposing your theories here.
Cool. You could do some meditated breathing. So like Headspace is a good app where you just you can download the what it's going to play before you put your phone on airplane mode, and it'll still play, and you can listen to it while you go to sleep, and it'll just help you relax. Those are some
What's the
easier
whole 10
ones.
to 2 thing? Do you believe that 10 to 2 window is important? 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.? Like, that's where your best sleep comes. That's what I've heard
I think
people
that
say.
depends on each person. But yeah, I mean, based on the circadian code, it's body's circadian rhythm, it's somewhere in there is going to be the sweet spot. You definitely don't want to be up later than that and for sure, the most important is that you're not eating in that time. Your body just does not handle food in that cleansing window very well.
I find that, like, after I sometimes will have a, are we good? Okay, I find sometimes after I have, like, I hit this tired moment. Like, I'm going to put my boys down to bed. It's like around 8 p.m., something like that. I'll get tired in there, and I'll probably crash on the floor. Like, I'll just hang out in there because they're like, can you just stay in here, please? And I'll be like, okay, and I'll be on my phone or whatever. And then I'm, like, getting really drowsy, and then I just kind of fall asleep, and that's when I feel like I should probably go to bed. You know? But then I sometimes I won't, right? I'll just get up. I got more things to do.
Yeah.
I get a second wind, right? And then I find, like, if I continue to be up a little bit later, I get the munchies, bro. That's what I should not do.
Yeah.
That, like, is that I feel like hunger, and then my kids too. If we're out later, they're like saying, "Daddy, I'm hungry." If they're still awake later, what is that? Is that something that's happening, or like, come on, Dr. Kyle?
Yeah, I don't know. You have me. I'm sure Dr. Walker would have the answer to that one.
So that's
I'm not sure if that's a Ghrelin response, or maybe. I don't know.
You've had it though, right? Like, if you stay up really
Oh,
late,
yeah.
like, you feel like you get the munchies. I'm not talking about munchies from, like, smoking dope and things like that. I'm talking about, like, when you've, like, been up late night.
Yeah.
Night owls, they get hungry, and they're like, let's go to Waffle House. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why those marketing commercials target them specifically.
Yeah.
They're going to get them in that late night cravings.
I don't know if there's, like, a hormonal thing happening there.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Which is why you should just, like, go to bed when you first feel tired and don't stay up.
Yeah, that's another. It's hard to.
Yeah.
The day's winding down, and people, especially if you worked all day, and then.
Yeah.
You want some time to yourself and just time to wind down and relax. And
I mean, right now we're watching baseball. That Houston Astros are playing late.
Yeah, it messes me up every time.
Yeah.
Just want it to be over, but I love it at the same time.
All right. That wraps up this episode on sleep. Head over to KTX nutrition.store. You can get any one of these supplements. We, of course, love the Real Deal. All of them are great, but we're kind of talking a lot about starting there, just making sure that there's good hydration and anti-inflammatory stuff here. I'm about to do your there's a car driving by. Here, let me tell you something about this, because I did this again. It's because I started to talk about TRD, and I felt like, what am I doing? That's your job. You talk about TRD, I don't, and that's why I went like this. It's an insecure behavior of mine to slap you on the back. So
that's cool. At least you recognize it.
I do. I recognize it. So head over to ktxnutrition.store. Head over to the Instagram page. A lot of cool content over there. That's Instagram.com/KTX_nutrition. I have been Nate Fancher with KTX Life, joined by the man behind it all. Here comes the back slap.
We're going to the White House.
Kyle Flowers.
Oh.
We're going to the White House?
It's a goal, right?
I don't know that reference. Was that a reference?
No, it's like, I want to, one day.
Meet the president?
Like, do this at the White House.
Sweet.
We can be his sidekick.
Trump looks like he needs to have some...
I think by this time we'll have a new president, and we'll optimize that guy's sleep, or girl.
Yeah.
that
Oh
late.
yeah, sleep's a big deal for those presidents. Obama got a lot of sleep. He liked to sleep. All right. Not a political statement at all.
That sounded like a jab.
It did, yeah. Whatever. This is not about politics. You guys have a great one. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about food. We're going to get into some good food stuff, talk about some recipes, and
I
fat
love
bombs.
food. I love
food too. Adios, guys.
Bye.